First of all, see what the major lateral balance is like. So from here to here, so we've got one heel, the outside heel slightly higher at the moment by about a mil or so. We can see that the heel here is quite long. The frog is not that defined. The bars are quite high up through here. So we can actually we'll go looking and searching in this area, see what's crumbly, what's soft here first, and then see how much we can bring this hoof back. Because also everything, if you take through the centre foot, you can see that there's very little back behind here and everything forward. So it's in balance. So what we want to try and aim to do is bring this whole hoof back a bit further underneath. There's less point of hoof here, and we've got a gap here where we should have a bit more further back here, more so the foot is further underneath. So we've got an awful lot of foot forward, and we've seen that on the x-ray that this is like excess, it's not actually doing anything. So what we're going to do is see what's actually under here, and what's but there's, you start feeling the solidness here. So we've got a bit more depth of dead sole here to come out, the depth from there. So we know we can bring this whole hoof back quite a bit. So and drop that bar out, and you see now all this very dead sole.
Yeah, I can actually.
Between the heel back here and heel here. So we're just gradually bringing this whole foot back underneath. Line to the heel, following the tubules. Hairline to the heel, following the tubules. So now we've got even balance further back with the hoof. So when we put the go from the centre of the foot, we've got now a whole lot more behind than we had before. So now we've got an excess amount of length of toe here. We have the quarters that are going to be supporting. So when she lands, she's going to use these points here, the quarters. This is just a dead lamellar wedge that isn't touching or engaging with the ground at all, and it's just going to stop her from getting the boots on. See this all. This you can see where the old lamellar wedge is, and it's just very hollow. There's no real supportiveness to the or strength of that structure. It's breaking up. So we removed that because it's not really required, but it also allows the more dirt and crap to get in through and cause another infection. So if we can get rid of anything that's going to be likely to cause an infection, then that's going to be better. And really scrub and see how it's loosening this tissue around. So everywhere around the frog, everywhere along, and just get everything loosened off. So when we look down here, there's no actual weight on that sole. So there's 2 points here and the back of the foot. So everything breaks over, there's no pressure on that front bit. Any pressure is coming on the outside edge here of the hoof and on the heels, and here there's no pressure here on the toe. So when that foot comes down, this is where all weight bearing is. This one isn't quite as bad as the other. It still needs to come back a little bit more, but you can see by the frog here where it's all this is all dead frog. So from this point here you can see this isn't actually strong tissue, so we need to bring this back a little bit more, and you'll see the whole foot come back another ½ centimetre or so. This bit of the frog off here, so we're coming down to a bit more. You can see in this bit here it still needs to come out, so then we're being into a bit more formed frog in the back, and then we bring these heels down a little bit more.
How do you know where to cut to?
Well, where the hard sole plane is, which is underneath all this dead sole, so as we remove the dead sole we can see how much further we can come back into the heel. So it's a case of clearing those bars. The heel is moved back, and the centre of the foot, we've got more back behind the centre of the foot than it's more like half and half. So now we can remove some more of this excessive toe length, which isn't doing anything. It's not even touching the floor. And you can see that where the frog has been migrated really far forward, and now you can see the point of the attachment is here, whereas it was here. There's no sensitivity, okay? So the main thing is we don't create sensitivity, but we get rid of anything that's taking away a smooth line of growth. If this is coming in and trying to come in stronger and a higher, straighter growth, then the smoother we get this, the more chances that this will then pull down a straight line growth. I won't get the torch in the picture. So it's not about making it look right or anything like that, it's about being practical. And each hoof is going to be slightly different. If they're very sensitive, you won't be able to do much on this. But if it's all dead material, it should be gone. It's of no use whatsoever. We need firm, solid, good, strong material, and then you start getting functionality. So it's about functionality. You see this old serum and blood here in this hoof. This is not painful, this is old and dead and gone. You see it's very dried out here on the other side of it. But what we need to do is we need to get rid of dead, decaying tissue, because all that does is forms abscesses and invites pathogens in. So get rid of it, because it's no use. Here we've got the hoof wall goes around here supporting the quarters, and this one, the hoof wall is disintegrated, so it's not existed. So this will be a slight weak point here, but she's got plenty of hard material. You can see it's not sensitive here at all. If we tap it, and here it's not sensitive at all either. Okay, so this is a good support. This is a bit broken, but we can't do anything about that. That's just got to grow back and in. Okay. So what we have here is really overgrown bars, and the frog isn't really engaged. So she's with a particular laminitics, we really need this hind hoofs to take all the weight, so it alleviates the fronts. So this bit of thrush that we've got here, and the frog is pointing over this way a bit. This bar is folded over a little bit, so this one's slightly straighter. We've got hoof wall growth, even growth all the way around. So when we look at it here, everything's overgrown, so she hasn't really been using these back feet as much as she needs to do. Okay. So it's higher from the heel point upwards. So now you can see there's quite a flare, and there's a little bit of seedy toe starting there because the hoof's elongated a bit too much. With the frog, so the centre of the foot is more like here. So if you look at it, there's half and half. So you can see where this is elongated, and just here there's a small dot where it started the seedy toe, but it's almost rasped out now. So we just need to shorten this toe a little bit more and bring that heel back a little, both heels back a little bit more. So when we look at the heel, you see a straight point here, then it bends slightly. So we need to bring it back to here. Yeah, we brought the heels right back here. So now this bit here is well in excess. Again, we've got a bit of thrush and muck with the frog, and we've got the bars that are overgrown, the wall that's overgrown, and for a laminitic they need this back feet to function really well. You can see here this is actually quite a good straight line of tubules running up through, and it gets to this point here, then starts going slightly forward, but not by much. So the heel height is probably going to be quite good, but the rest of the hoof wall isn't, so she's been leaning back on the back of the hoof. So a little bit of bruising in the foot, around here and around here. Again, this old stuff, it's growing out, so.
Guys, would you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Rebecca, and I am the owner of Equine Inner Balance. So what I normally do is help owners with horses with their gut issues. So anything that's abnormal, or we've had issues with their health over a period of time, I normally help them to look at their diet and situation and lifestyle so that we can try to move on from that and get them healthy again. I have a herd of lots of different animals here, lots of rescued ponies, donkeys, horses, and most of them are generally good, apart from last year we had an incident with my pony Skye here where she had laminitis off the track. So she had quite severe laminitis, and everything was going well up until last November, December time, where we had another bout of laminitis where they all got into a field from a storm. Since then we've been struggling quite badly to overcome this situation, and I've asked Nick and you to come today to have a look at what's been going on with her hooves, because I knew that we weren't going in the right direction, even though I've had the trimmer back and forth obviously quite regularly, but probably not regularly enough, but I knew that we weren't going in the right direction with her. So Nick has come today to oversee everything and just to look at exactly where we've been going wrong. And you're going to do some acupuncture on her as well, so it'll be really interesting to see her moving after that. But I think it's really important that when laminitis strikes, and if you're, you know, we're down a hole where you're not seeing the improvements you need to be seeing, then you have to ask yourself, there is something going wrong, you're not on the right path, and you have to look at different avenues to see where you've gone wrong. And this is where Nick's come in today, and so far the advice and what he's done is incredible. So I'm sure we'll be able to post that later and show everybody on the page what's been happening with Skye and why we haven't been seeing improvements.
So what did Nick do with the feet?
Nick's done a lot with her feet today. So Nick's taken a lot off the heels. The heels were, I had some x-rays done, but I mean Nick knows exactly what he's doing, but we could see that the heels were really, really high, and that wasn't helpful for her. Also the toes were quite long, but they were long with a lot of compacted old wedge on the front there that wasn't really doing anything, so it wasn't giving her the feedback that she needs. I think I'm saying this right, Nick?
Yeah.
We had a lot of bar material there as well, which had got compacted. So Nick's taken away a lot of these areas where I think that were giving her a lot of pain, really. She just couldn't get on top of that. So Nick will, I'm sure, will explain exactly what he's done, and you can see from the video when you put it together just exactly what has happened and why Nick needs to remove so much material.
Hello, I'm Nick Hill, apparently. I'm here at Rebecca's yard. Got called out to have a look at her little Skye pony. It isn't actually a Skye pony, it's a pony called Skye. We've got laminitis, and we've got shown the x-rays, which were sort of pretty well as you'd expect when you look at the hoof. The heels are a bit too high, very, very compacted, so no blame to the farrier who's been doing it or trimmer, because it's extremely hard, but you have to get past that hard area, and the best way I find is by bringing back through in the quarters into the bars, getting rid of the old bar, tough material, and then into the seat of corn, and see exactly what's dead in tissue and what's built up. That way you can actually see where the hard sole plane actually runs to. And then you look also at the back of the foot, you look for the tubules and see how straight they are, and if they're starting to twist and bend at the top, that also gives you an indication that the foot is too far run forward or to the side. So then it gives you another point of reference. So using them 2 points of reference, you can bring that heel back quite a bit further. And on the videos you'll see that we've actually brought the whole bearing surface back underneath the horse more, and we've also found where the true point of the frog is, which usually with the laminitics it migrates forward quite a lot. A lot of people get very worried by that, but you need to keep bringing back and you'll see exactly how far back that comes. That just takes a bit of time and experience to see, and there's a lot of experienced trimmers and farriers out there who'll be able to tell you the same thing. Now when it comes to when we get the back of the foot level, medial lateral balance is spot on. Is very important with horses with pathologies like laminitis or navicular, to have that medial lateral balance spot on and kept spot on, because that impinges how they land and load the feet. So then what we have is this elongated toe that's left over, which is there's no inner wall at all touching the ground, so no real feedback coming back to the horse. But what we've got is like a bulbous nose to the toe, and so what we do is we bring that toe back into as straight a line as we can do without causing any sensation or sensitivity. It's very, very important to make sure that horse is no more sensitive when you finish as when you start. When you do take these heels down a little bit more, and you have to be careful, because if there's sensitivity or thinness in the sole in the back of the foot, you have to leave a little bit more heel so that horse can actually push down and use its foot. It's all about getting it to be usable, functional, let's say. So once we've got that functionality, then we have to think about what's there that isn't supposed to be there, what's going to impinge on healing, let's say. So that big bit of toe, when we take it off, and you see it on the video, there's big gaps in the lamellar wedge where you can see there's old material and necrotic material starting to come through, and that you need to take that away, because that's only going to get worse. It doesn't heal itself, it grows out, so you can help it grow and go away. And again, you can always tap the foot and see if there's any sensitivity there. If there's any sensitivity, you stop. So it's knowing the individual hoof and knowing what you're looking at, and then that foot needs to ideally be kept back and balanced every week or every 2 weeks. Even small bits will help. And if you can't do that, you can get a hard wire brush, cider vinegar, and scrub like crazy, and that'll help exfoliate until your farrier, trimmer, hoof care provider, whoever it is, whatever they do, comes and then helps you along. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Relza. I'm a vet, and I primarily do acupuncture on all sorts of animals. And today I'm here to see Skye and to give her some acupuncture.
Rebecca, come into the picture as well. You're the owner. We need you here.
Sorry.
Okay. So, have you seen acupuncture done before on the horses?
No,
Okay.
never. No.
Okay. So, can you explain a little bit about what you're going to do, what you think's going on with this little Skye pony, or pony called Skye?
So basically what Nick's done is he's changed the angle of the hooves extremely. He's taken the heels down, he's taken the toes off, and made the alignment of the whole limb a bit more correct and a bit closer to what it's supposed to be. And this is obviously going to cause some discomfort for a certain amount of time. It usually lasts no more than a few days. However, we're trying to diminish that by using acupuncture straight after the trim. We're trying to reduce the inflammation that's caused by the trim and reduce the overall pain that she's getting from the laminitis. Hopefully, we'll see if that's worked after we've done the treatment. But first off, we start off by doing a general exam, and then adding onto that the acupuncture scan, which suggests where there's areas which are problematic, if there's any issues with internal organs, or if there's any discomfort in any other joints. You can always
It's alright, there's always somebody trying to get in on the act. Look at that, there you are. I want to be in the video. There you are, he's in the video. Okay.
So the acupuncture scan will basically suggest if there's any discomfort in any joints. It can show us if there's any pain in the front hooves. And by doing the treatment, we're trying to reduce that pain and inflammation and hopefully get it to move more comfortably.
Okay.